through. Lots of mid lane high priority champions are going to get through. Looks like the Azir is their pick of those not to get through. But again, the Aurora is this really big burst damage heavy champion that I feel like either team would love to kind of play around. So we'll see if that does go and change hands. And then of course you get into the Sylas territory where definitely both of them have had really big carry potential there. So what are you going to pair with something like the Pantheon?
Yeah, and they do end up locking in that Pantheon. That is why I was really curious to see what 100 Thieves are going to pick for their third ban, since they have had such a high prio on that. They've had such a high prio on Poppy. There is the Aurora, exactly as you said. They're deciding to trade that in for the Pantheon. Right now, Zhao being hovered and locked in for River.
Love that pick for River. Giving up the Pantheon is still scary, but I like what we were able to trade for it on 100 Thieves' side. The question that Kobe, you initially posed, though, was what do you pair with the Pantheon? Because I love things that it can be aggressive with it as well.
Well, there's a great champion that's still up and available. The pairs super, super well with Pantheon. It is, of course, the Taliyah. So we'll see if they end up going for that pairing. It is one of the strongest. As we see, the Sion locked in as their second pick. Good front line, and also a little bit of a takeaway from Dhokla. That's been one of these picks that 100 Thieves really love putting him on and then having him play kind of the weak side of the map, really leveraging that for their objective setups. I think it's going to be the Taliyah, but we'll see. Because there are no hovers coming in yet.
Yeah, Mireu's not playing to the crowd.
It is, like, that's the pairing that we always loved, was the point and click with your seismic shove. And you also get to pair your semi-globals. So VKS are setting up with some real possibilities if they can get some early snowball to also be able to control a wide map. But 100 Thieves, I think, again, it's just going to be a very similar style comp where they look for their engages, skirmish heavy, look for pincer movements. And with Quid being the one to pilot the Aurora this time around, he is in a position to kill people himself. Like, yes, Aurora can set you up, your team up for plays with ult also. Then you also have the burst damage to finish those plays and kill people off.
We get our wish.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, and as we see the Ksante locked in, this is another pick that Dhokla has done super, super well on. It's also another pick that, again, doesn't necessarily need all the resources in the world to do really well in a side lane. He's really, really stable. Dhokla uses him very, very well, again, to leverage stuff 400 Thieves around the map, so not surprised to see that locked in for him. As we see the Karma taken out 100 Thieves side, and then the Alistar ban coming out of VKS.
Yeah, they're going to be all bot side bans for the rest of this because both teams have yet to lock in their AD carry and support, so taking away some of the defensive ones, some of the aggressive ones, but so far no AD carry bans.
Yeah, I mean, and the primary ones are still up, with Corki being banned last time around. That means it's not fearlessly banned here, so Corki is still available, the Sivir is still available. Those are the super popular AD carries at the moment.
Senna.
If you want to stay extra safe, the Ezreal option is also there. I expect FBI to go for like Senna and stacking champs a little bit later into the series.
Okay.
But with the super high pro one still available, then we go that way.
Yeah, and we'll see what VKS wants to take out from their side that they don't necessarily want to play against. It will actually be that Senna pick for FBI, so we'll see. I am fully expecting to see something like the Corki or the Sivir coming through here on 4.
Yeah, and even if you expect Senna later in the draft, it still pairs so well with the front line of Zhao, Ksante, so understand why VKS would want to take that away, but we're going to have to wait on our AD carry pick, as it looks like we will have a support pick first here from 100 Thieves. The Bard is being hovered. Again, can get around the map incredibly efficiently and also function as either engage or peel, and it is locked in for Eyla.
Yeah, you've got options here to try and blow Taliyah flash, a low mobility carry there. So definitely has that flexibility that you're talking about, and that might push up like the Ezreal or something priority 400 Thieves, so that it gives Eyla more time to roam around with. But as I was talking about, the Sivir and the Corki have just been so prolific across pro play. Very good at carrying these team fights and getting off a lot of your AoE, since there is some pretty short range showing on 100 Thieves.
Love the signs shouting out where people came in from. Everyone's here, though, to cheer on the LTA teams. I love the Sivir here. Spell Shield against the Tempered Fate of the Bard. Hard to get on top of her, and just scales incredibly well. And you can hear the crowd making a little noise from this hover. It's always fun when it's locked in. And I don't even hate it here into a lane. If Bard wants to roam around, anything that can be aggressive, this also fits kind of that niche. The Nautilus can always start off a fight, and especially start off something against an AD carry if the Bard has left a lane.
Yeah, and also just a little bit safer overall. Offers a little bit less of a singular kind of play style as the Blitzcrank does, even though we've seen, you know, great Blitzcrank games. And there's another stacking champion. We've talked about how FBI loves these picks. Another thing to watch out for is early lane assignments coming out of this draft. We've seen 100 Thieves are one of those teams that kind of we're watching KT, HLE, and some of the other games where we have seen those 80 carries going top to lane against the top laner. So we'll see if that ends up happening. Could end up being the early lane assignment here for FBI.
Yeah, definitely could be. Or he could try to stack off Nautilus lane as well. He's got good stacking choices.
I raise you stack off Sion. You know, that sounds pretty fun as well.
Yep, either one, definitely an option for them there. We'll get into it. 100 Thieves, of course, they're the ones with the pressure on them now. You know, with the crowd being so heavily favored for 100 Thieves and losing game number 1. Definitely a lot of pressure here coming into game number 2. Time to lock in, time to lock it up. FBI, as we said, has been a really big fan of a lot of the stacking champions, Smolder included here as well. Is going to be interesting to see you know, how much they want to give up early on, because Sivir also is looking to farm up a lot early on too.
I gotta say though, Kobe, I don't think that the Texas crowd has lost their faith in 100 Thieves just after one game as the coaches give their fist bumps. We're getting ready for game 2. VKS find themselves up in the series, but 100 Thieves still with the home crowd behind them look to push us to a deeper series.
And one really important thing coming out that we noticed already, FBI has actually taken teleport on that Smolder. It was pinged out immediately by VKS. Although we do see both top lane champions in the top lane currently.
And it's interesting, too, because there was an interview with Zeus, and he was talking about that ward up in the top lane with the middle brush. So both teams placed that ward. So both teams looking for it. And you do get the recall, so Ksante is going bottom, so they are going to do it. And so they both placed that top middle brush ward, by the way, at the same time. So you can see that both teams have the indicator that they know that there's a warning here. So while there is vision there, both teams already know that the other team has
it's a mind game. Yeah, it's like, okay, so now they know if we go early, what do we do here? As VKS going for a late invade on the bottom side here. River drops a ward down, but it looks like VKS are going to commit. I mean, yeah, with the timer and now 100 Thieves, can they actually waste any time? If River gets the smite steal, he's got the blast cone, he's got a ward on it, and I don't believe Evocade saw that ward, so River might just look for the smite. I mean, he's sticking around. He's kind of has to at this point.
Oh, baby.
Blast cone, can he get it? Into it, and it's Disamis. It hits level 2 first, but River's got the damage onto Disamis. Now he's stacking up, though. The Conqueror on the Pantheon, always scary. He's waiting for the cooldowns, another Q, and River has to back off. Disamis, successful invade.
Yeah, good smite there from Disamis. You need to hit that because as the one taking the buff, you're the one in danger of them full sending on the fight. And so you have to get the level 2 to keep yourself safe. And so he clutches up. He does get his level 2. And River can't continue the fight after that, even with Eyla trying to roam over.
And that's really going to put River behind on the clear. We see now goes up to the Raptors on vision. So VKS know where he is exactly. 100 Thieves, really the only thing that's going well for them in this early game is that the read was not spotted. FBI is still laning versus the Sion, how 100 Thieves wanted it to go.
Yeah, and we'll see how well he's able to stack as Eyla is already making a little visit to mid.
Yeah, he's just pathing up to the top side, I believe, to complete their lane swap, basically. Because with the new rules, the 3-minute mark is what you have to watch out for. And so he's kind of roaming up here, collecting some chimes on the way, and eventually we will get the 2v2 back up there as Trymbi is following just a little bit further behind Bard, who is speedier at it.
Sulfurin is in a big chunk of damage right there. FBI's in trouble. almost goes down, does not flash. Boal does not flash either, but that was dicey for FBI.
Ooh, yeah, with how last game went for him now.
Dredge line in. Now they're looking at Eyla here, but he's got River behind him. Only level 1 for Trymbi, and no play for the Thieves, but yeah, that was still very dicey.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to be back to lane kind of immediately to be able to catch this wave, even though early teleports do take a very long time to complete. But yeah, now we're just going to have Trymbi up here with the Sion.
And Disamis as well. So they saw River for a little bit. So Disamis is coming over to help ensure they can push this wave in. Since they did have at least a decent chunk of damage on Boal, even though he's Sion, they require a little bit of jungle attention to make sure they can finish off the push into tower and get it to bounce back. Meanwhile, River had just already left the area and went back to clear what was left of his blue quadrant of the jungle. So
and you know what?
Scrap that up.
FBI just gets Cole. TP's to lane, nothing happened. He's a happy little dragon still.
Yep, and we are going to see these two top lane. The top lane is going to be filled with both bottom lanes, and now we have both top laners down in the bot side of the map.
Almost
River,
as it should be.
Yeah,
but, you know,
clears up this scuttle crab, hits level 4.
Yeah, River here, of course, does have his flash ready, so gonna look to cross over back to re-clear his Raptors first. But then we'll see if they do get, you know, a little bit dicey there, go for any sort of aggressive plays. No summoner spells being burned early doesn't mean means there's no like easy options for them. But blowing that flash on especially mid lane would be the first step. If you can blow the Taliyah flash pre-6 for the Aurora, then the Aurora with ultimate has huge pressure.
And River's looking to do just that. When becomes lightning misses. Weird knee lands, twofold hex does not, so not even a huge chunk onto Mireu. Good sidestep, because if that W from the Zhao lands, you are in a lot of trouble.
Yep. These two beefy boys just kind of scrapping it out in the bot lane. But yeah, I mean, it still keeps kind of the pressure and control in Quid's hands of this lane. And we'll see if River wants to revisit it anytime soon, because again, these two mid laners kind of getting them ahead. And now with Disamis hitting level 5, we're going to kind of want to track of when he hits level 6, has that Pantheon ult to join up for either potential Drake or Grub take.
Yep, Disamis is the winner of a lot of this early game because he was able to hit the smite, secure the extra camp there. So he's got a little bit of extra experience over River in addition to his gold. And he invested some of that gold into an early control ward here. I like this one, kind of deep behind the red buff here. Is going to see a couple pathways for River's options.
Yeah.
And so like what he's kind of doing here on the Pantheon so far early in the game.
Oh. Okay, I know the crowd's reacting to that one. Anytime I see tanks like that, I don't expect anybody to die because even with that much health, so tanky. But Trymbi looking aggressive up on the top side here with the Disamis.
River's leaving.
River's here.
Yeah, FBI's getting dredge lined. Now focused down, even through the exhaust, he has to flash. FBI's alive for now, but the dive continues. First blood to Disamis. FBI left out to dry.
That was so weird because River was heading over, but then he started leaving. They made the call that maybe the dive is not still happening, but the dive was definitely still happening.
Yeah.
I thought River was going to join up with them to try to contest that dive. If he'd been there, they might have been able to fend them off. But potentially a little bit of miscommunication coming out of the 100 Thieves camp here.
Yeah, so
as you see, I thought River was going to join right here, but he ends up backing off as soon as FBI and heads back to the turret and then gets hooked.
That ward is just not close enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't see the little bit of fog of war allowed both Nautilus and the Pantheon to get into the brush. I think that's a case of our own vision baited us. And they thought that that ward had full vision, but that ward left a little pathway of fog of war, and those little placements of wards can have huge ripple effects in games. Sometimes you place a ward a little bit off. Usually people kind of mess up the ones around mid lane with the longer area now, but that one, leaving the little bit of fog of war, is going to have very big ramifications in this game. That kill onto FBI, the Smolder, does slow down the stacking, does get even more money into the Pantheon.
Ooh, Quid went across the veil here to get on top of Mireu. Did not see him through the invisibility, so Mireu gets chunked down. Quid not able to threaten much more.
Yeah, and the big thing is with their dual lane still bot, they may be looking for something onto Dhokla, but regardless, it gives them complete control.
I mean, they're
over
Weaver's
top
walling.
side.
Yeah, they're fully committing. Another dive top, this time onto the tank. He has flash, he has all out, and a full health bar. He's throwing up the Braum emote thinking, I mean, I got Pathmaker, but he's got not a lot of health. Disamis picks up the kill. VKS pull off another dive in the top lane.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think 100 Thieves are going to be able to find anything on this bot side except for potentially Drake control and just kind of swapping, taking that Drake for grubs. But a really, really nice dive coming out of VKS, securing them these grubs on the top side, pushing that advantage they already had up here off of their first dive onto FBI and Eyla.
Yeah, VKS are calling all the shots in this whole series so far. VKS, the ones driving this game in addition to the last game, they have huge priority, and getting the grubs on top of this allows them to open up the map even quicker for their Pantheon and their Taliyah globals to try and apply this pressure to 100 Thieves. I mean, FBI is going to have a really rough time stacking this game because all the pressure put on him and the dive being successful, blowing his flash as well. So even the 100 Thieves kind of dream of 225 is pushed off a little bit further.
Yeah, it's very distant, and I love that you pointed out these globals that VKS has built into their composition, right? We talked about how strong this Pantheon Taliyah combo can be. It also means whenever you set up those side lanes, they're now going to have 3 grubs to aid in that pushing, really can potentially give them a huge cross-map advantage as well with whoever they decide to send into a side lane, especially if it is this Taliyah, because she'll be able to join team fights so quickly with her ult.
And I gotta say, I'm just conditioned to see a Ksante getting dove and it not working out for the team, but that was well executed by VKS. Disamis now 2-0. He got both of the kills. Also, the early invade that went incredibly well. I mean, Disamis is having an incredible showing against River right now, one of the best junglers in North America.
And that's kind of the risk that 100 Thieves took in this draft, right? Like, they were like, we are going to trade this power pick of Pantheon. We're going to get Quid on the Aurora, right? And they set this up, and now Kate are really punishing them for this because Disamis has been able to make such a huge difference, especially on this top side of the map.
And Disamis is the player that's been on the team the longest, that they kind of rebuilt it back up around. So, you know, the faith in him is repaid, you know, getting the first team All-Pro as well. But we got more action. Trymbi's
another
back.
dive. This time Eyla is nearby, and it's only 2 people diving, so they will not fully commit to that. Instead, it's just going to be plates. I mean, that's a lot. Oh, wait, they actually got the damage again! The seismic shove, the dredge line, everything hitting Dhokla, and Mireu picks up a kill this time.
Yeah, great combination from Mireu and Trymbi being able to finish off Dhokla. I think Dhokla still thought he was safer than he was, and they're putting a lot of pressure on this topside turret, taking down another plate.
Ooh, Tempered Fate plus the TP in from Quid. They're looking onto Trymbi, but the flash away from the Nautilus gets him to safety. 100 Thieves cannot find a kill in response.
Yeah, I mean, VKS looking like they really want their rematch versus FlyQuest.
Yeah.
100 Thieves are getting pressured so heavily here. You know, yeah, Dhokla, another tower dive successful for VKS on him. He still does have flash.
Ooh, the blind dredge line! Quid was invisible! He went across the veil, you can't see him. Trymbi just predicting where he went based on the path, and Quid is punished.
Trymbi just waiting in a brush. He's done super well on this Nautilus thus far as they keep setting up these pick plays.
You can't see him!
Blind hook from
That's
Trymbi.
incredible!
Wow. Insane catch onto Quid. And again, these side lanes are rapidly becoming so dangerous for 100 Thieves.
And I gotta say, the Brazilian audience calls Trymbi Mr. Incredible based on obvious appearances. That's a Mr. Incredible play right there. I mean, you can't script it better than that. What a hook.
Yeah, he's also, you know, the big shot caller that they credited with this team. You know, him coming in. Did take him a while to adjust to the role as the real main shot caller, but it's not costing him in plays either. So good engages from him as well as good calls for VKS so far throughout the entire series.
Yeah, and they're really, really making this map super dangerous for 100 Thieves to check around, even this early in the game at 13 minutes. It's really risky for 100 Thieves to step up and clear that vision, especially since they still want to get this Smolder online, like you talked about, Kobe, right? Like that whole early lane assignment, the purpose of that, the purpose of taking TP was to get this Smolder into lanes where he can stack super early in the game, get that stacking as quickly as possible to 225, and really be online for mid to late game team fights. And we'll kind of check in to see where he's at in terms of total stacks against average. But I definitely think that is also what has partially has allowed VKS to kind of repeatedly dive this top side of the map. They're dragging 100 Thieves around the map with these kind of overload plays or with these pick plays that they've been setting up. And I'm so glad we get to see this from him, right? Because like the Flag West series was a bit of a stomp. And the way they play is very similar to how 100 Thieves like to set up around neutral objectives as well. Here we see FBI in at 102 at 14 minutes. So
not quite on track, I'd say. I mean, there's a chance he can still get that if there's like a big fight or if he's able to scrap a lot here, but seems like he's a little behind. Not completely shut out compared to average, but it's not where we expect, because FBI have been so good at the stacking champions up to this point.
And 100 Thieves have been so good about getting him in lanes where he can stack really rapidly, right? Again, that's what these lane assignments are about. But now it's so risky for him to even step up at all because VKS have such control over the map.
And one of the main strategies having a mid lane also is after he gets that wave, you can go get Raptors too and try and stack up the Raptors. But currently they're dealing with an invade. So there is more pressing action at the moment as the Dragon's being started up. And it looks like River's just taking their Raptors anyway. So they're not even feeding the Raptor stacks into him as VKS will just take this Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, VKS have had full control. They've been utilizing the Taliyah Pantheon combo to great effect, and 100 Thieves are not feeling confident to walk in. Mireu, meanwhile, throws out Weavers while FBI barely gets away. Doesn't have to use the flash, but VKS, I mean, they are playing aggressive.
Yeah, kind of fishing for a pick there. It doesn't work out, but it's fine. It'll be up in time for the next neutral objective fight. The big thing for me, though, is, again, like, that was completely uncontested, and I don't mind that from 100 Thieves, right? Like, I'm actually glad, and one of the things they said they've been working on is maybe not necessarily going for every single neutral objective contest where they had previously. That does give them space on the reset to potentially take a look at this Rift Herald, which they are now doing on the top side of the map after a little bit of cryo that Dhokla has been able to establish up here. And we'll see if VKS want to go in and contest this.
Right now, they are approaching the area. 100 Thieves have everybody grouped up, but Boal already uses the Sion ultimate. You can hear it off screen. He's coming up, and it is secured by River, but can they take the team fight afterwards? Boal splitting apart FBI and Quid. The damage isn't there to follow up onto River, who dives straight in onto the full team of VKS, but now they fought through. Quid picks up the first kill for 100 Thieves. Now he's focused down, has to go across the veil to try and get away. Chase down, flash out. 100 Thieves, they get the objective. Can they get out Grand Starfall? Onto Quid, flash, plus the Aegis Assault. Disamis finds the kill.
Okay, so currently a 1-for-1, but they're looking for more here as they teleport over to the top side, and Pantheon's wrapping around.
Disamis is now looking at Dhokla. He's got a low health turret. Instead turns onto Eyla, immediate cleanse. Damage is still there. The movement speed from the E coming through. Dhokla uses the Pathmaker all out in onto Disamis, but I don't think he got to safety, but he's just taking the fight. Almost gets Disamis, but instead goes down. VKS's jungler on a rampage.
Okay, so I mean, they got the Herald, but it did cost them a lot. And VKS are happy to take the top tower plus the extra kill here. I guess you could say FBI got some time on the bottom minion wave on Smolder.
And they end up getting the Herald up.
Oh, maybe a pick right here. Oh, the Weaver's wall to safety.
He's just going to ride that Taliyah wall out. And again, I love the way that Cade are really pushing their advantage. This is what we saw from them domestically in terms of when the lead is in their hands as we take another look at this Herald fight. Where 100 Thieves do end up with the Herald, and it kind of looked like it was going to go in their favor a bit, Kobe.
Yeah, so River, he creates a lot of space here. He uses the ultimate on Zhao, and then he goes to pick up their Herald and flashes to get in Magical Journey. Quid does not get into Magical Journey. You see he kind of failed there trying to get over into it, and then he tries to escape this way using his flash plus his jump as well, which means that Pantheon can get the chase down. At that point, Dhokla had escaped out through the back of the fight, though, so that's why he ended up over here.
Yeah, and they knew that he was coming up. Mireu pushing in on this lane. He tries to go for the all-out. Eyla's kind of vibing here to try to help him out, and then ends up magical journeying his way.
Maybe.
Ayla's like, we're supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the path out for you. Ooh, path in. As the Tempered Fate lands onto the turret, can they get onto Mireu this time around? No. He's able to sneak away. 100 Thieves invest a lot of time bot lane to try and find a pick, and they don't get it.
And look at the response from VKS. They're immediately hammering down this mid-tier one that will open up the map even more for them. They might be able to get into this jungle, take away a few camps, and take control potentially over this bot side.
And they're going in straight onto Eyla right now. Instead, Dhokla's trying to tank it up. All out, pulls in Trymbi, and they can shut down the Nautilus. That's big news for the Thieves, and they got him. And into the Herald. FBI right into safety. Now he's behind Mireu. FBI just ganks behind VKS while his team is trying to fight Boal. Shut down onto Quid, and FBI will fall finally. 100 Thieves lose 2, and they will trade those kills back.
Yeah, I mean, he used his flash to go for that kill as well, but VKS just killed the Herald, so he has to pop right back out of it. So
Seemed cool at first.
Yeah, so Dhokla is going to get the ultimate here, moves Trymbi over to the wall, and then abducts him so they can try and kill off the low health Nautilus. Then FBI flashes over to ensure he can get it, and then jumps in their Herald to get out. He does get the shutdown, though. So while it is 2 for 2, he does get a shutdown with a little bit of extra goal for taking down the Taliyah, which they desperately need because the Sivir was already in that fight on 2 items. The Sivir already had IE, and you could see the difference in damage there.
Yeah.
Morttheus was dealing significant amount of damage with his auto attacks and was able to kill off FBI as he was running away. And so FBI really does need a lot of extra help to catch up. He's at 190 almost stacks right now. On the Smolder, so still a decent ways to go for the 225. At least now he has completed the rapid fire cannon as well for a little bit of extra, safety with the poke. But they have to continue giving dragons because you're basically fully relying on this Smolder power spike for their side now. Whereas from the side from VKS, Sivir is strong already, and the Pantheon is definitely strong.
Yeah, they're in a great position, especially with having taken down that bot tier 1 as well. So all 3 outers completely gone for VKS. They can kind of set the map however they want. You see Trymbi already moving into this top side, trying to potentially prepare some vision down for Otacon. And I feel like this Otacon is going to be very, very crucial, right? Because 100 Thieves are going to be looking to try to stall still as much as they possibly can to try to get an advantageous fight on this top side. And with the lead they have, VKS don't have to let them. If they're able to push in this wave, kind of set this entire top side up, you see Sion pushing in the bot wave as well, they should have complete control over the Otacon.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, I mean, they kind of need to use Smolder, rapid fire range, try and go for a little bit of poke while not exposing anyone. Like, look for possible angles for Bard to get little summoner spelled advantages maybe on people, burn little things that way. Yeah. Because they're still trying to catch up on most champions. They are getting the second item in here for Dhokla now as well. So he does get his unending despair at the very least to get a little bit tankier. And they're trying to defend vision while continuing to funnel as much as they can into FBI.
But if I'm VKS, I'm looking at that Otacon. You know there's still no flash on FBI because of the earlier Herald play. This is a window where they can not only capitalize on a 3,000 gold lead, but also the enemy AD carry not having that summoner spell.
He's at 220.
Oh, that's close.
They need 5 more stacks for FBI.
Very close, and maybe they just find a pick right here. Trymbi in the jungle. River with a knockup. VK is about to lose their support, but he's surviving for quite a while. Quid teleports in. He's got to immediately flash to try and get to safety. Trymbi is still alive. Chased down by River on the side. There is a Tempered Fate from Eyla's not able to set up any kills immediately. Trymbi will finally go down. 100 Thieves pick off the support and now can look at the Otacon.
All right, what can they do with the power play? Mireu is actually sneaking into the brush.
Oh, this would be huge. If he finds the unraveled Earth Seismic Shove, Quid is in trouble. No, instead on the wave. Now Dhokla also unspotted here, finds Morttheus, the enemy AD carry, all alone, soloing by a Ksante. Morttheus in trouble, flash to safety, Disamis saving his AD carry, Morttheus lives! The AD carry from VKS holds the line and even gets double kill onto River. Grand Starfall. VKS won it all. They won the ace. Quid, the only member left alive on the Thieves, and VKS looking to chase him down. 100 Thieves thought they had the play, but it crumbled around them.
They thought they had him, but that was a great collapse from VKS. They were in really good positions to respond to that. The Avicon is now theirs. What a showing from them. I love how decisive they've been, again, in that collapse, contesting it, using the strength of Disamis on this Pantheon. It is now 4-0-6. That's Avicon picked up and a 4K gold lead for VKS.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves need to be a bit more patient with that because there was no vision in that little brush by Blue Buff, and the Sivir was going to continue pathing over towards the mid lane. So let's see about it. Dhokla does go down into this brush, and then you're going to have Sivir continually pathing over. He goes, like he would continue walking over, and you know, River and Eyla, if they had waited an extra second and kind of wrapped more towards mid lane, they might have had more room to work with. Because they don't, they get too close to tower. So Morttheus, with him spell shielding on the ultimate and then using his flash to get into tower range, he actually lived a long time. It caused Dhokla to get a little bit too far in there, take some extra damage. And so 100 Thieves, they were very close to pulling off a sneaky play, but I think just one more second of patience might have benefited them a lot.
But also incredible from Morttheus right there, spell shielding at the right time. If you don't spell shield that all out, you are not able to flash into that turret range nearly as easily. You got to try and get over a big wall right there, and not always the easiest thing to do. So I think Dhokla was just not expecting that, and now VKS with a gold lead are going to start to pressure 100 Thieves here on the bottom tier 2.
Yeah, and I love this. I love where they've been going in terms of their pressure to try to set up these strong side lanes that they have.
Fate lands only onto Mireu, but instead they just blow up Trymbi. 100 Thieves using the Bard ultimate to buy some time so that they can take out one member. Trymbi goes down. 100 Thieves have 5 on the Rift.
And that was 4 people. They were just defending with 4. Ksante is split pushing with no teleport right now. Dhokla can't join. So Dhokla has to walk all the way down for this dragon fight. 10 seconds. He took out that top tower. He's going to walk down now. 100 Thieves, their defense, when they really needed it, they took out the support, but support is such low level that the death timer for Trymbi being this low means he's actually going to revive. They are teleporting somebody back over.
It's just Mireu for the wave. No, that dragon belongs to the Thieves. They got the pick in a 4v5. Dhokla still gets the top turret, and the Thieves still get the dragon. And FBI is still stacking on the Smolder. The Thieves are not out of this game yet.
And that buys them so much time, right? I talked about how I did really love how VKS were setting up their side lanes. They were going to push in on that bot side, set up for Drake. Instead, end up stepping too far forward. 100 Thieves jump onto Trymbi. They still had pressure on the top side. That turret went down.
VKS have an invade. VKS have multiple members. Oh, the red buff saving River's life right there. That was, I believe, all members of VKS, and now they're looking at Dhokla. Pathmaker stun onto Trymbi. The rest of VKS are now spotted, but again, Trymbi goes down. Tempered Fate onto the 3. The Thieves have the setup. Everybody on the Boal, as the rest of VKS will leave their top laner to dry. 100 Thieves find 2 kills. Oh, Mireu has a Weaver's Wall now. It's just to get to safety. It's still 5 members of the Thieves up, and the Baron's on the table.
It's on the table. Dhokla wants to eat it.
Yeah. It seems like the rest of the team might not be immediately answering. Now they are going for it.
Here we go. Disamis is up. His flash looks like it has a few seconds on cooldown.
Flash and smite. The flash is going to be up, I believe, by the time he can get into there. He's also got the Aegis Assault to approach, but instead Quid just goes in for the engage. Disamis is down. Shut down gold to FBI. Baron's doing a lot of damage, though, so the Thieves will have to back up. Dhokla not quite able to make it out. VKS will get 1 for it, but 100 Thieves got a big shutdown on Smolder.
Yeah, they got a big shutdown on Smolder. We'll see how it works out, though, because you did see that kind of a little bit of indecision after they got the pick, right? They were like, are we going to push down mid, or are we going to go for this Baron? Here's the initial pick onto Trymbi, and he just kind of ends up evaporating. You see the Tempered Fate coming through, doesn't sync up with the Mom coming in, but the fact that they're able to get Boal on the back half of this is what potentially sets up for this Baron, but then you see kind of River heading to mid. They could have got down this mid tier 1. We'll see what the biggest difference getting that gold onto FBI will make.
Yeah, getting the kill, taking out the Pantheon, taking away the enemy smites, getting that extra gold onto this Smolder that is the hope. The Smolder that is the center and the win condition for this 100 Thieves team. They have finally got him close to parity with the Sivir. He's still a little bit down.
Ooh, depth charge in onto River. They're committing in onto the Zhao. No ultimate available. Defensive. Tempered Fate. Eyla's trying to keep his jungler alive, but River does go down. Now it's going to be Trymbi traded yet again. FBI on a killing spree now, but he's focused down. The Smolder's out of it. VKS got onto 100 Thieves' hopes. It's got to be down to Quid here as the 100 Thieves draw a new battle line. VKS just go to the mid wave. They would have pushed this up to the tier 2.
Yeah, they knew they had to take out FBI.
Still going. Dhokla in some trouble here. Instead, VKS, they didn't commit for the wave. They're looking for a pick, but Dhokla is tanky enough to get away this time.
That does delay the start on Baron for VKS, so they're pinging on it right now, but delayed a little bit. There's teleports for both Quid and Dhokla, so they can go back to base. Dhokla does that. He heals, he buys, he teleports back out. They're gonna rush it.
Yeah, I mean, all out from Dhokla, no flash, but if he can get onto Mireu or Morttheus, maybe he can actually kill them.
It's gone.
Yeah, the Baron is
done.
so low, there's no chance. Dhokla sees it, backs off. VKS again, wearing purple with the Baron buff.
Yeah, they win that team fight. They immediately rotate up, take out the Baron. Now they're once again, the gold lead is heavily in their favor. They should be able to reset and then push in those waves.
Huge pick on River. This is everything for VKS. River has no flash, so he has nowhere to go. And since Boal was able to come from the bottom side, they pincer him. They make another pick.
Back to live. Dhokla trying to push in a wave here, but VKS immediately have 3 members on top of him. Has the all-out available, trying to get to safety, uses Trymbi as his ride, but the depth charge logging into a place. Dredgeline pulls it back. He's just getting juggled. VKS find another pick in a side lane.
Another pick for VKS. They take down Big Dokes. They already have Baron buff, so now they can easily push these lanes in and get some tower damage done. Again, 100 Thieves, they still have to hope that Smolder can try and fend off everything from all sides.
Yeah.
But VKS are so rich.
Oh, they flash! Dredgeline immediately into FBI. He's still alive for now. He decides to walk forward, but he's taken out. Boal gets the kill. Disamis heralding FBI forward. And VKS find 2 picks. Double kill to Boal. They still have Baron. They're pushing the Thieves' base.
They are running the Thieves. They're going to go straight into the base. River down.
That's another wave.
FBI still down. They can end the game.
I think they're going to go for it. It's just 2 members of the Thieves left. Dhokla spawns right now. 3-man defense versus 4 push from VKS. Quid's going to have to be the damage dealer. Quid's going to have to be the miracle this time around. Smolder still 20 seconds. VKS trying to defend these cannon minions. They got the first turret. They're going to look for the second turret. Quid no ultimate available. Seismic shoving on a Dhokla. He's already out of there. Quid just can't get past Boal. But VKS only have the cannon minions hitting this next turret. It's not quite enough. They decide to back off.
Yeah, they decide to take kind of the safer play, back off here. The map is theirs, though. They can easily reset, be on the map. Trymbi is already there. They're probably going to be rotating down to this Ocean Drake on the bot side. But again, I've loved the decisiveness. I've loved how they've really taken their lead and forced 100 Thieves to come to them, set up these really great pick plays. And as you see here, this is kind of their roster journey over the entire year, where they had an incredibly disappointing split 1.
Yeah, basically last place.
Yeah. And
What's the key factor that changed everything here, Emily?
You see his beautiful face right there. It'd be, I think Mireu was kind of the answer to the team that they'd already put together around him, right? He was kind of the final piece prior to their victory in the South that qualified them as the first seed. And yeah, I mean, we saw it especially in game 1. His Taliyah has been great in this game as well, but it's more about how the entire team is working together as Trymbi goes in.
Another dredge line in, mom damage in onto Trymbi as Dhokla's trying to buy them space on the left flank. Disamis just goes in and kills Dhokla again! Still alive, double kill! The jungler lives! VKS on fire in this series! 100 Thieves just had no answer! Disamis with the party ultimate under the turret! VKS took their 0-3 to FlyQuest personally, and they look to right those wrongs! 2-0 start to VKS!
They keep on picking off 100 Thieves so easily. VKS here, 2-0, and no signs of stopping.
They're on match point when I will say I was the only person on the lounge giving them a game. Answer for yourselves, lounge.
Why are you putting this on us? I'm putting this on VKS stepping up to the pressure, and also I feel like 100 Thieves is playing, a few players are playing below their levels, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think if this whole draft evolves around FBI playing smaller top lane against the Sion and winning, getting all stacks, getting fed, using TP, but he was losing lane earlier game.
Yeah.
So then you gave up Pantheon Taliyah for this Aurora, who wasn't winning anywhere either. So what they tried to do the game draft by giving the M team 2 globals, strong early game, and the swap also caused River to lose his rip off. I mean, his blue buff level 1. So now he's behind the whole game for you to swap top and lose 1v1 to the tank as Smolder. Hello?
You're going through all the substance. I'm just going to look at the camera and say, wake up! Where has 100 Thieves been this entire series long?
Oh, it's a nightmare right now.
It's a complete nightmare. I need to wake up right now. We all need to
There's
wake up.
definitely an element, I feel like, of